So burnt sienna and titanium buff, just because it's really small, so there's no need to be to add too many colors for the face. If we can get away with just burnt sienna and titanium buff, it'll be great. Now, the first layer, I'm not putting too much of a titanium buff. I'm gonna shift the camera for a minute, just for you to see how I'm mixing. That's burnt sienna, this is titanium buff. I'm just gonna kind of a mid-tone. The reason I'm doing this is just I need the face to be the first layer of the burnt sienna and titanium buff to be darker. Otherwise, I don't have room to highlight. If it's too light, that's really an important point. If your color is too light, you have no room to highlight. It's flat, that's it. There's no room to show the nose, show the cheeks, the chin, all of that is gone. So I'd rather go dark first, which is kind of this color right here. Not too dark, but dark enough. And then I'm gonna come here, and it's going to go darker because it's on black. So it's awesome. I can just, it gives me enough room. Don't worry if it looks red or it looks funny, it doesn't matter.
I might have to put a COVID mask on, my lady.
Yeah,
That would work too.
Hmm.
see, we should have taken that class with doing the faces. We would.
The portrait?
Yes.
Oh, we haven't started yet.
Oh,
We can do one here. Like we can do for Tuesday, Thursday afternoon. We can do one, a portrait class. Cool. Okay. Let me try something here so you can see. I'm gonna take titanium buff and clean up all around so you can see. I'm gonna clean up all around her face. I'm gonna put black again, not all around, but just for you to see, because it's very hard to see right now what's happening.
Now, did you mix the burnt sienna with the titanium buff?
Yes, I did. All right, so now I'm going to take a bit of the burnt sienna. That's good. It's good. Burnt umber. So burnt sienna, touch of burnt umber in here to darken my burnt sienna. And I'm gonna come here, that helps. It helps if you see the mouth. Just the upper lip. So all I'm doing is I'm putting, if you want, just use burnt umber for the upper lip, just upper lip. That's it. Don't worry about the lower lip. Okay. Now I'm going to take the same and I'm going to do a hint of an eye. What I'm doing is kind of like this, something like this.
Can see it.
Oh, sorry. Oh, what am I doing?
We're
Okay.
just, you're just doing the upper lip enough?
Yes, just the upper lip.
Okay.
Upper lip. Just a line for the upper lip. And for the eye, it's something like this, which is kind of a just like that. Eyebrows. Oh. What did I do? I made a mess. Okay. Now, do you want me to wait a bit before I start highlighting?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start where the highlight usually is. Highlights hit the face, they hit the nose because it's higher, right here. Just the top of the nose. The top of the nose, because I'll tell you why. Because the bottom part usually doesn't get that much of light. So top of the nose.
You're just using titanium?
The titanium buff.
Okay.
Yes, it's burnt sienna and titanium buff.
Oh, okay.
Yes, burnt sienna and titanium buff. Now, the other part is the cheek, right there. And slowly, the more you go down, the slightly darker it's going to go. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to actually bring the highlight all the way down. Her chin right here. And leave the lower lip darker for now. Now, underneath the nose. Now, because I'm highlighting, I can see that the nose is too big. So what I'm going to do is go back with my dark, with my black, and adjust it from the outside, like negative painting. I'll wait for it to dry and then I'll go back and paint it again. Just the top part. And you see, like you can see slowly that it's looking better. There. Now, again, I'm going to take a bit of burnt umber, mix it, just a bit, mix it with my titanium buff and burnt sienna. Just give it a bit of dark right here at the bottom of the nose. Keep that dark here, and you can, when you see this dark in here, you can see that this is the curve where her jaw is. This bottom part of the nose is more like a triangle in here. It's like a slight small triangle in here. Now, I'm going to do the last part. And at this point, I'm going to take a touch, very small touch of cadmium red light. I'm going to mix it with titanium buff, lots of titanium buff. Yeah, make sure the skin is completely dry.
You're using
Cadmium red light and titanium buff. So I'm making more like a pink color.
Okay.
I come here and I'm going to put a bit more of that titanium buff and cadmium red light. Leaving some areas kind of a bit, actually I don't have to leave anything like darker, it's good. I can just kind of highlight the whole thing because it's such a tiny little painting there. I'll wait for it to dry. And if I find that the skin is turning darker again, I'll add a bit of white to my combination instead of titanium buff, especially over where this area is, because this is a higher cheekbone, so it will catch the light, and the nose. Now, it'll be nice if we put
about above her eyebrow? You know,
Pardon?
above her eyebrow, what's that? Keep it dark.
Yes, a bit dark because of the hat casting a shadow over her, over this area. So you don't want it. I mean, I took the highlight all the way up, but we can put a bit of a brown for her eyebrows. It's such a tiny little, oh, okay, again, mistake. So for the upper lip, I'm using burnt sienna. For the lower lip, I'm using burnt sienna, but I'm adding a bit more highlight to it.
Titanium buff thin.
Titanium buff. On a small scale like this, we do not have room for detail. Thank God. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So again, I'm going to highlight a bit more. So I'm adding a bit more titanium buff to my color. And it's titanium, it's burnt sienna titanium buff. And I'm going to highlight a little bit more. Because I can tell when it's dry, it goes darker. So I just have to keep on adding more highlights. I take burnt umber and put a bit of titanium buff in my burnt umber. Make my burnt umber lighter. And I'm going to do her eyebrows. Okay.
Are you using a rounded brush?
Round. I might change to a flat one in a minute, depending on how big the area is. So I'm going to mix the alizarin crimson. I'm going to mix it with a bit of raw umber. Raw umber, when you mix it with the alizarin, I'll show you the difference once we put white. It really gives a very nice muted kind of pink. So if I take alizarin crimson by itself, and I want to highlight it, I'm going to get this kind of strong pink, like that. But if I take alizarin crimson and I add raw umber to it, and then I highlight that with white, we'll see that,
Can't see it.
yeah, it's muted. It's not like, it doesn't pop. It's, oh, sorry, you can't see it right there.
Yeah, okay.
Right, okay.
Okay, so see the difference between,
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's like a dusty rose,
pardon?
like a dusty rose.
Kind of, yeah, kind of like a dusty rose, yes. So I'm gonna go back here now. And I'll mix again quite a bit of crimson and add to it raw umber. Take white. Again, don't go too white because we need some white for the highlights. Water in here. We can highlight as much as we want later on, but the first initial layer, we should be careful with white. I would go a bit darker. That's better. It's gonna dry darker anyway because of the black, but still.
Yeah, I think I like the pinky color.
Yeah, I think it'll look much nicer than having black in here. Although the whole idea was to see the black, but
The
I think-
bicycle will be very black.
The bike is black, isn't it?
But the bike is black and maybe we'll keep her pants black.
yeah. Depends.
So you said this should be a little darker,
Pardon?
a little darker than, not too.
Yes, yes, because I'll show you in a minute. Actually, before I start putting the rest of the color all over her jacket, I'll show you why. I'm just gonna spread this color right now. So this is one of the sleeves. So at this point, what I want to do is find out where the light is coming from. It's coming from this side, like over here, this way. So this is what I'm going to take, where I'm going to take a bit of more white. Add it to my pink. Come here. And try to blend it softly with the dark, and don't take your dark all the way. Don't take your highlight all the way down. Randomly. Do it randomly, like no line showing.
Did you use white? You used the white, yes.
Yes, I added white, yes. And this is not the only, we're going to put some kind of a bit more highlights over here where the fabric is gathered. Oh, that looks nice. Okay. Let's go back and go to the original color.
It's a rose senna, isn't it? With
Pardon?
rose senna and glycerin crimson, and which three colors you use? Because I was ready.
Oh, rose, it's pink, it's crimson, alizarin crimson, raw umber, and a bit of white.
Okay.
Raw umber, yeah, raw umber. It's a cute color.
Oh, I like it. It's very pretty.
Mm.
Okay, so, okay, well, let's finish this part. And we'll move on to the other part of the jacket.
Lael, you haven't sent out anything new about the next class. We should owe you some money.
Yeah,
I will send one. I will send an email soon.
Okay,
Soon. I'm just waiting until the end of April.
okay.
I thought you were waiting until the end of March.
I thought April 1st was the new session.
Pardon?
I thought April 1st was the new session.
So did I.
Well, we did pass the time of the winter session was over a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll move on to spring and summer soon.
How long is the spring going?
Pardon?
How long will the spring be going?
Spring,
Summer.
summer. Spring, summer.
Oh,
Okay.
All the way to September.
Oh, okay.
Will you be having as many classes, Lael? You're saying you were thinking that people maybe would want to be outside, or?
I'm gonna offer the classes, and
Yeah.
whoever wants to join, they're welcome.
Okay, perfect.
I'm gonna keep everything just the way it is.
Good. The hot rodders are on the street behind me.
I hear them.
Crazy.
That has to dry.
So she has black mitts on.
No, we're gonna change the color of the mitts. Maybe another color, we'll choose something else. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording right now. Okay. Now I'm gonna take the same mixture of crimson, burnt raw umber, and white, and just check where on the picture itself, on the reference, where I can see a bit of highlights. And I'm gonna try to kind of match this. Now there is a button, a jacket, on her jacket, buttons in the front. I'll do this later. Right now, I'm just gonna highlight. I'm not gonna worry about details. Okay, so I can see a bit of highlights in here, right here, right there. And I can adjust all of this later on if I see that it's getting, it's really, it's too light. I can adjust it. I'm so usually very careful how much white I put, because I know it's very hard when you put white, when you put highlight, to go darker. It's not that easy to go back to dark. So it's like just be careful with the highlight with white. And I'm doing exactly the same what I did right here. So random kind of medium tone right now, random. So I don't want a sharp line right there. I want the part of the sleeve at the bottom here to be darker, and this is lighter. But before I start putting all of the texture or the creases, I'm going to highlight a bit, the actual sleeve with white and nothing sharp, no defined, no definition. Just highlight this part. Good.
Looks pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Okay, I'm gonna add more white now. Now I can add more white, and I'm gonna come here and look at the actual reference. I'm just gonna add a suggestion of some of the fabric crease. Is that what you call it? Crease? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So easy, slowly. I highlight really very carefully usually. I don't go wild with highlights with white. I need to be in control. It's good. It looks soft. It's perfect. It doesn't have to be too much. Now I'm going to go back to mixing the medium tone again. I'll come here. Now the back. This is a bit tricky in the back because the fabric is pulled up.
Mm.
And it's the back part, so highlights shouldn't be too much in there.
Mm.
Pink. Pink.
This is blending, so it's more like dry brush, kind of. I don't want too much of a, just enough to show that the jacket is hanging down with a bit of, oh wow, this is really hard to see. Okay. Very soft blending. I think it's enough. I'm just going to take a bit of raw umber,
Okay,
mix
that
it
one
with-
went to dry.
mix it with the alizarin crimson. So I need the dark color crimson. Now I'm gonna glaze. So I cleaned my brush, watered it down a bit, watered down a color a bit, and then I'm gonna glaze this area here darker, just because this sleeve would be casting a shadow over
Yeah.
the coat.
What are you putting on your brush to do that?
It's just alizarin crimson and raw umber,
Mhm.
and I mixed them together, cleaned my brush very well, and added put a bit of water, so it's more like a glaze. It's not too thick, not too thick. Now this right here, what I'm doing is alizarin crimson, raw umber, and a bit of water, and I'm just darkening a bit this area a little bit more right there. It's not a straight line, it's just kind of suggestion. You could see the line, but it's broken up. Hello? So this here, I'm using raw umber and alizarin crimson. The thing is, this has to go with the movement of the coat this way. So it's not straight. I did it straight and it didn't work. So I had to redo it again. Now, it's the opening where the jacket, the front of the jacket. So now I have to darken a bit right here. Right there. So it doesn't look, so this line doesn't look too heavy. And over here, I can see in the reference that there's a shadow in here, right there. So it was a bit too light. There, very soft kind of, not a harsh line between the dark and light, between the dark where the dark color is and the highlight.
Okay. Mine has to dry before I do
Before you start, yeah, okay.
more.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Lael. I'm
You're
gonna
welcome.
sign off and we'll see you next week.
Yes, see you next
Take
week.
care. Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody
Thanks a lot,
keep
Leo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I just realized